Hidden behind the ancient walls of modern-day Iznik, Turkey, lies a city that changed the course of Christian history, Nicaea. For centuries, this city has been at the heart of decisive moments that shaped Christian beliefs, traditions, and even empires. From defining the nature of Christ to restoring the veneration of icons, Nicaea was far more than just a city. It was the stage for councils that echoed across the Christian world. In this video, we'll explore why Nicaea became a cornerstone of Christian history. From the famous Nicene Creed to the turbulent days of Byzantine exile, discover the pivotal events that made this ancient city one of Christianity's most important spiritual and political landmarks. Stay with us and let's dive into the story of Nicaea, where theology, empire, and faith collided. The First Council of Nicaea, held in 325 AD, was one of the most significant events in the history of Christianity. Convened by the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great, this council marked the first time Christian leaders from across the empire gathered to address deep divisions within the church. The primary issue at stake was the growing controversy over Arianism, a theological belief that questioned the divine nature of Jesus Christ, arguing that he was a created being and not co-eternal with God the Father. This debate threatened to fracture the unity of the early Christian community. To resolve the dispute, over 300 bishops and church leaders met in the city of Nicaea, located in present-day Iznik, Turkey. Their discussions led to the formulation of the Nicene Creed, a declaration of faith that affirmed the full divinity of Jesus Christ, stating that he is of the same substance as God the Father. The council also established a unified date for the celebration of Easter, aiming to standardize Christian practices across the empire. The decisions made at the First Council of Nicaea had a lasting impact on Christianity, laying the foundation for the Church's theological framework and promoting unity at a crucial time in its development. The Nicene Creed remains a central element of Christian worship in many denominations to this day, and the Council is often seen as a milestone that marked the Church's transformation into a structured and unified institution. The Second Council of Nicaea, held in 787 AD, was the seventh ecumenical council of the Christian Church and played a crucial role in ending one of the most divisive theological conflicts in Byzantine history, the period of iconoclasm. For decades, the Byzantine Empire had been torn apart by fierce debates over the use of religious images, known as icons. Iconoclasts, those opposed to icons, believed that venerating images was a form of idolatry strictly forbidden by the Ten Commandments. In contrast, iconodules defended the use of icons, arguing that images served as windows to the divine and helped the faithful connect with spiritual truths. The controversy had led to the widespread destruction of religious art, persecution of those who defended icons, and deep divisions within both the Church and the Empire. Recognizing the damage caused by these conflicts, Empress Irene, acting as regent for her young son Emperor Constantine VI, convened the Second Council of Nicaea to address the crisis and restore unity. The council gathered more than 300 bishops, theologians, and representatives from both the Eastern and Western churches in the city of Nicaea. After intense theological debates, the council affirmed the legitimacy of venerating icons, distinguishing between veneration, which was acceptable, and worship, which was reserved for God alone. They declared that honoring images of Christ, the Virgin Mary, and the saints was not idolatry, but a tradition deeply rooted in the teachings of the Church and essential for educating the faithful. The Council's decision marked the official end of the first phase of iconoclasm and restored the use of icons throughout the Byzantine Empire. It reinforced the idea that visual representations played an important role in Christian worship and spiritual life. The Second Council of Nicaea remained significant in both Orthodox and Catholic traditions, symbolizing the defense of sacred art and the resolution of one of the early church's most turbulent periods. Nicaea, located in northwestern Anatolia near the shores of Lake Ascanius, played a vital role as a center of early Christianity, long before and after the famous councils held there. Its strategic location made it a cultural crossroads between East and West, situated on important trade and military routes that connected the Byzantine capital Constantinople to the interior regions of Asia Minor. This accessibility contributed to Nicaea's rise as a significant religious, political, and intellectual hub in the early Christian world. As Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire, Nicaea emerged as one of the prominent cities where the faith took root. The city became home to a vibrant Christian community, numerous churches, and influential bishops who played active roles in theological debates. By the early 4th century, when Constantine convened the First Council of Nicaea, the city already had an established Christian infrastructure capable of hosting hundreds of delegates from across the empire. Beyond hosting major councils, Nicaea served as a key center for theological education and ecclesiastical leadership. Its bishops were often among the leading voices in shaping doctrine and addressing the heresies and controversies that challenged the unity of the early church. Nicaea's religious institutions, including monasteries and schools, attracted scholars and theologians, further enhancing the city's spiritual and intellectual reputation. The importance of Nicaea continued into the Byzantine period, as the city remained a regional stronghold for Orthodox Christianity. Its churches and religious sites became places of pilgrimage and worship, reinforcing Nicaea's identity as more than just a political center. It was a city where critical moments of Christian history unfolded, where faith was debated, defined, and defended. The legacy of Nicaea as a center of early Christianity continues to be felt today, symbolizing the city's role in shaping the foundations of Christian belief and practice. In 1204, the Fourth Crusade dealt a devastating blow to the Byzantine Empire. Instead of reaching the Holy Land, the Crusaders, driven by political ambition and Venetian influence, turned their attention to Constantinople, capturing and brutally sacking the imperial capital. The Byzantine Empire collapsed, replaced by the short-lived Latin Empire of Constantinople, established by the Western Crusaders. In the face of this disaster, the surviving Byzantine elite, nobles, clergy, and scholars fled to different parts of the empire, determined to preserve their civilization and Orthodox Christian traditions. One of the most significant centers of resistance and preservation was the city of Nicaea, located in northwestern Anatolia. Due to its strategic location, strong fortifications, and rich political and religious history, Nicaea became the temporary capital of the Byzantine Empire in exile. Under the leadership of Theodore I Lascaris, who declared himself emperor in 1204, the Empire of Nicaea emerged as the most powerful of the Byzantine successor states, alongside the empires of Trebizond and Epirus. Nicaea quickly transformed into the heart of Byzantine political, military, and cultural life. The imperial court, the Orthodox Patriarchate, and leading scholars relocated to the city. Nicaea became a refuge for Orthodox Christianity, safeguarding religious practices, traditions, and administrative structures that had been disrupted by the fall of Constantinople. The emperors of Nicaea, including Theodore I Lascaris and his successors, John III Ducas Vatatzis and Theodore II Lascaris, worked tirelessly to restore Byzantine authority, reform the state, and maintain diplomatic relations with neighboring powers. During this period, Nicaea was not only a political stronghold, but also a center of cultural revival. Schools, monasteries, and churches flourished, preserving Byzantine art, theology, and intellectual life. The city symbolized the continuity of the Byzantine imperial legacy and the resilience of Orthodox Christianity in the face of Western conquest. The Empire of Nicaea's greatest achievement came in 1261, when Michael VIII Palaiologos recaptured Constantinople from the Latin Empire, restoring the Byzantine Empire after nearly 6 decades of exile. Although Constantinople once again became the imperial capital, Nicaea's role as the center of resistance and preservation ensured that the traditions, institutions, and spiritual identity of Byzantium survived one of its darkest chapters. Nicaea's legacy as the temporary capital highlights its enduring significance in the political and religious history of the Christian world. The religious and cultural legacy of Nicaea continues to shape Christian traditions to this day. Perhaps the most significant contribution is the Nicene Creed, a declaration of faith first established during the First Council of Nicaea in 325 AD and later expanded at the Council of Constantinople in 381 AD. This creed articulated core Christian beliefs about the nature of God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit, affirming the divinity of Christ and the concept of the Holy Trinity. To this day, the Nicene Creed remains one of the most universally accepted statements of faith in Christianity, recited during liturgies in Catholic, Orthodox, and many Protestant churches around the world. Another lasting impact of Nicaea came from the Second Council of 787 AD, which restored the veneration of icons after decades of controversy and destruction during the Byzantine iconoclasm. The council defended the role of sacred images in Christian worship, emphasizing that honoring icons was not idolatry, but a way to express reverence for holy figures and events. This decision cemented the place of religious art in Christian practice, influencing church architecture, mosaics, paintings, and devotional life across the Eastern Orthodox world and beyond. Nicaea's legacy is also visible in the way it became a symbol of unity and resilience for Christianity, especially during periods of crisis, such as the aftermath of the Fourth Crusade. As the temporary capital of the Byzantine Empire from 1204 to 1261, Nicaea preserved Orthodox Christian leadership, scholarship, and tradition when Constantinople had fallen into foreign hands. The survival and restoration of the Byzantine Empire owe much to the role Nicaea played during this turbulent era. Throughout history, Nicaea has represented a place where theological disputes were settled, doctrine was defined, and the unity of the Christian faith was preserved. Its influence extends beyond councils and creeds, leaving a deep mark on Christian thought, religious art, and the structure of church authority that endures across centuries. Even today, the name Nicaea evokes a legacy of faith, debate, and the enduring search for unity within Christianity. The history of Nicaea stands as a powerful reminder of how one city can shape the course of faith, culture, and civilization. From hosting the first ecumenical council that defined the core beliefs of Christianity, to resolving fierce theological debates over the use of icons, Nicaea became a place where the future of the Christian world was decided. Even in times of political collapse and foreign occupation, the city served as a refuge for Orthodox tradition and imperial authority, preserving the spiritual and cultural identity of the Byzantine Empire. The decisions made in Nicaea continue to echo through the prayers, rituals, and beliefs of millions of Christians to this day. Its legacy is not only carved into ancient walls and church councils, but lives on as a symbol of unity, resilience, and the enduring power of faith.